Students, in the previous class we have seen just the introduction about the pole placement technique, where exactly we can place the poles, what are all the different approaches like classical control approach, state variable approach, which type of approach is advantageous towards complete stability of the system, what is the difference between the root locus plot as well as your pole placement plot, and in what way the pole placement plot is advantageous, what is the importance of open loop system, what is the importance of closed loop system. All these things we have discussed in the previous class. In this class we are going to see how we can evaluate the state feedback gain matrix, because evaluating the state feedback gain is very important. Why? Because the feedback gain plays a vital role, and this gain has to be connected with the in the feedback system. And we have three different methods. First one is your direct decomposition method, second one transformation matrix method, and the third one is your Ackermann's formula. Step by step we will see how exactly we can connect our system using all these methods. How you can evaluate the state feedback gain matrix K. The state feedback gain matrix is represented with the letter called K. So after identifying the K, you will be getting the state feedback gain matrix like K1, K2, K3. So depending upon the number of state variables, here the number of K factor will also vary. For example, if I am having 3 state variables, the state feedback gain will have K1, K2, K3. Suppose if I have only one state variable, my state feedback gain K is equal to K1, K2 if I have only 2 state variables. Suppose if I have 4 state variables, my feedback gain K is equal to K1, K2, K3, K4. Likewise it goes on. Okay. Depending upon the number of state variables, the number of state feedback gain will also get increased. Now in this, to identify the state feedback gain matrix, the first step is I need to identify whether the system is controllable or not. So controllable or not means I need to find the controllability. To find the controllability, I have 2 tests. One is your Kalman's test, another one is your Gilbert's test. So in Kalman's test, so one by one test, this Kalman's test and Gilbert's test already we have discussed. Under Kalman's test, we need to identify your controllability matrix. The controllability matrix is equal to B, AB, A square B, and it goes on till the number of state variables. After identifying the controllability matrix, I have to identify the determinant value of this composite matrix. If this determinant value of the composite matrix is not equal to 0, then we can say the rank of the matrix is equal to the order of my state variable. So how many number of state variables I am having? The rank will be 3. Suppose if I have 3 state variables, the rank of the matrix is equal to 3, and we can say the system is controllable. In case if my composite matrix QC, okay, is equal to 0, then the system is not controllable. So in this way you can identify whether the system is controllable or not. You can identify by using the Kalman's test. In case of your Gilbert's test, the procedure to identify your controllability is you need to identify the new vector B, which is nothing but M inverse B. M is nothing but your model matrix, and B is the matrix given in the problem. So after identifying this, none of the matrix in M inverse B should be 0. Suppose if I am, after identifying the answer for this M inverse B, if I am getting here 0, 0.5, 1.5, then if I get the matrix like this, then the system is not controllable. Why? Because one of the element in M inverse B is 0. To have a complete controllability, none of the element in M inverse B should be 0. Likewise, you can identify the system controllability. So the first step to evaluate your state feedback gain is you need to identify whether the system is completely controllable or not. Okay. Next method is identifying your gain. To identify the gain, you have 3 methods. First one is your direct decomposition method or direct substitution method. Second one by means of your transformation matrix method, and the third one is your Ackermann's formula. In direct substitution method, you have to use two equations you need to identify. That is two characteristics equation. One is your characteristics polynomial equation. Characteristics polynomial equation. And the second one is desired characteristics equation. First one is your characteristics polynomial equation. Second one is your desired characteristics equation. The characteristics polynomial equation can be identified by means of the equation lambda I minus of a minus bk is equal to 0, or you can tell it as lambda I minus a plus bk is equal to 0. So in this way you can identify the characteristics polynomial equation. The desired characteristics equation can be identified by means of your given poles. Then what you have to do is you need to compare your characteristics polynomial equation with the desired polynomial equation. That is, you need to compare the powers of s between your characteristics polynomial equation and the desired characteristics polynomial equation to obtain the desired location. This is how you need to identify your direct substitution method. So here we'll be getting the coefficient. Through a problem I will be making you guys to understand the direct substitution method. The first problem is a regulator system is defined by x dot is equal to ax plus bu and y is equal to cx. A matrix is given, B matrix is given. Compute k so that the control law u is equal to minus kx. So this defines the system is having a feedback. So it is system with feedback. So in case of system with feedback, the characteristics polynomial equation is going to be lambda I minus a plus bk is equal to 0. So with this it is possible for us to identify the system is having a feedback, and it places a closed loop poles at S1 equal to S2 is equal to 2 poles they had given. So the 2 poles what they had given is minus 4 plus or minus J4. So here I can identify my desired characteristics equation as S plus 4 minus J4. It is my one term. Another term is could be S plus 4 plus J4. When I multiply these two factors, I will be getting one equation. That equation is going to be my desired characteristics equation. Then I will be comparing this desired characteristics equation with the characteristics polynomial equation to obtain the values of alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha 3. Before doing so, first I need to check whether the complete system is controllable or not. To check for the controllability, I need to use any one of the methods like Kalman's test or Gilbert's test. Kalman's test or Gilbert's test. So in Kalman's test, being the Kalman's test is simple, I am going to use Kalman's test to find the controllability of the system. So QC is equal to BAB. B matrix is given from the problem, so I can take the B matrix and I can write it in this particular place. AB in the sense A matrix multiply with B matrix. So A matrix is 0, 1, 0, 0 and B matrix is 0, 1. After multiplying, we will get here 1, 0. Therefore, the composite matrix what we have obtained is B. B matrix is here 0, 1 and AB matrix is going to be 1, 0. So when you identify the determinant value for this QC, you will be getting minus 1, which is not equal to 0. When the determinant value is not equal to 0, then your rank of your matrix is equal to 2. Why I am writing here 2 in the sense? Because I am having two state variables. So the rank is going to be 2 and we can say the system is completely controllable. So once the controllability matrix is identified for this problem, then I have to identify the characteristics polynomial equation by using lambda I minus a plus bk is equal to 0. So lambda is a factor and I is your identity matrix whose order is equal to the order of your matrix A. A is the matrix given in the problem and B is also the matrix given in the problem, and K we can write it as K1 K2. Only 2 terms it will come. Why? Because you have only 2 state variables. So when you substitute lambda I minus a plus bk, you will be getting the terms like this. Once it is solved, you will get lambda square plus k lambda plus k1 is equal to 0. Then the desired characteristics polynomial equation can be obtained by means of your closed loop poles. Here 2 equations they had given, S1, S2. S1 is 4. They had given S1 is equal to S2 is equal to 4 plus or minus J4. So this I can write it as 2 poles. Lambda 1 is equal to minus 4 plus J4. Lambda 2 is equal to minus 4 minus J4. Then I have to identify the desired characteristics polynomial equation from the given poles. When I multiply lambda plus 4 minus J4 into lambda plus 4 plus J4, I am getting the equation lambda square plus 8 lambda plus 32. My desired characteristics polynomial equation is going to be lambda square. It is the desired characteristics polynomial equation. And the characteristics polynomial equation from the state feedback is lambda square plus k2 lambda plus k1 is equal to 0. Comparing the coefficient, comparing these two equations, comparing the powers of lambda, we will get k2 is equal to 8 and k1 is equal to 32. So after identifying, after comparing your desired characteristics equation with the original characteristics equation, the value of k1 and k2 obtained is 32 and 8. Therefore, the state feedback gain matrix K can be written as k1, k2, and in the matrix form it could be written as 32 and 8. So it is the method that defines your direct decomposition method. So in this, using this method, it is one of your easiest method to identify the state feedback gain by using direct decomposition method. Thank you, students.